Hello and happy October, everybody. Spooky season is here and Halloween is fastly approaching. I hope everyone is enjoying their spooky season. I figured, in honor of such, I would give a brief tour of my haunted house I built in Minecraft. I'm quite proud of this one. It's definitely the best house I would say I've built, so without further ado, let's get started. Of course, we have our pumpkin patch down here in the front yard. Gotta get all these jack-o'-lanterns from somewhere, right? There's our mailbox. So we go and ascend this walkway up the front here. And that brings us to the front entrance. Here is the living room. It's quite cozy. This is probably my favorite room in the house. We've always got a nice, cozy fire going. You see our window. We can get a view out to a neighbor's house that I don't think that person is on the server anymore, and they just kind of stopped building that. Then moving forward, this is just a small intermediary hallway that kind of connects the two hemispheres of the house. That brings us into what I call the stair hallway, for obvious reasons. There's my grandfather clock right there. Of course, you've got to have cobwebs around. Cobwebs never go out of style as a Halloween decoration. Going in here, this is my bedroom. We have our bureau, bed, little nightstand, a chair, you know, decorative painting. And then in here is pretty much the same thing. This is just a guest bedroom. If you're having, you know, company that needs to stay the night. And then in here, this is pretty much our utility room. We have our loom and chest, furnace, crafting table, etc. Our anvil. Everything that you would need to craft things or repair things, stuff like that. And that is a tour of the first story. Oh, the one thing on the first story outside that I did not show is what haunted house is complete without its own graveyard. Nothing fancy, of course, just actually, technically, I think this would be a cemetery. Bit of trivia, a cemetery stands on its own, but a graveyard is adjacent to a church, and obviously this is no church, so I think technically this would be a cemetery. Here's our mausoleum. So that concludes the first story. If we go back into the utility room here, you will see we have a trapdoor. And this brings us down into the basement. Nothing fancy, of course, just some barrels and some chains hanging from the ceiling for no real reason. It's like cobwebs, you know. Chains never go out of style as a good spooky decoration. And then down here, this trapdoor just kind of leads down to a tunnel that goes out the side of the mountain that the house is built upon. So, let us ascend the stairs in here and explore the second floor. We go up the stairs here, and that brings us to our library. Of course, you've got plenty of bookshelves, some lanterns hanging down to illuminate the little granite countertops here on which you could read. We have our lectern. It's got an interesting little thing here. A skull in flames is ridden beneath a pallid moon. Behind its nose is hidden the secret ritual room. And of course that will just give a hint on how to access a hidden room that I built into the house. So if we go out this door here, you will see it brings us out onto the balcony. You can see we have a bench there. You could just sit down, get a nice view of the front yard, you know, the pumpkin patch down there. Looks like somebody's starting to build over there, so that's cool. We've got some neighbors putting up a house. And then we go out the side door here, and this just brings us to a little connecting area, again, between the two hemispheres of the house. can also access the balcony from this way. But if we go in here, this is the gallery room. We've got plenty of paintings, and we've got 2 statues here, crowned with jack-o'-lantern heads, of course. And oh, well, what is this? It's a flaming skull beneath a moon. We had a little hint about that earlier. So if we walk into the nose of the skull, we get to the secret room of the house. This is, of course, the ritual room where we perform sacrifices to Baphomet or Beelzebub or your demonic deity of choice, you know. We have our nice altar right there. Plenty of candles and jack-o'-lanterns. And then through the ritual room, up here, you can access the attic. We don't talk about what's in the trunk in the attic. And that about concludes the complete tour of my haunted house in Minecraft. Like I said, probably the thing I built that I'm most proud of. I'm getting better and better as I go at designing structures and building and whatnot, and not having them just look like a big box or something. So, I'm wishing everyone out there a frightening but safe and fun Halloween and a fun rest of October. Everyone's entitled to one good scare. So, this is Norman signing out. Have a good one, everybody.